Hi, my name is Brian Fargo, and I'm the CEO of An Exile, and I'm about to show you the long-awaited Wasteland 2. So the writers, they'd write this really complex scene. They said, if you do this and if you say that and you have this person in your party, then this happens, which will then create a spider web of these events over here. And you go, oh, that's really cool, but I can also shoot him and kill him, right? And they're like, yes, yes, you can. And then it just cuts that whole thing off. And so I think that's the wild part about making these kind of games, is this commitment to all these scenes and content and wonderful stuff that the player will never see. I mean, some of our favorite moments you probably won't see unless you played a couple times or you want to, sort of load save games. But loading save games doesn't solve everything, because one of the ways we handle our design is that whatever your cause event is and whatever the action that it makes happen later, they're not right next to each other. So if you can't just like save the game, kick open the door, see what result you like better, and restore. It's not like that. These things are hours apart sometimes. So you could do something and you won't even know the result of it till 3 or 4 hours later. So that becomes, in essence, almost like a permadeath if you think about it, because your choices become real, unless you want to go back in 4 hours and replay, right? Most people don't. We don't make it impossible. We don't make the game unwinnable. It's nothing like that. But we do change the game based upon those things, and you have to live with those repercussions. But I think that's the tension you need to really make it meaningful. There's an infinite number of combinations in the game. That part is true, right? So I think that, like, for you to play the same experience, you and me, the odds of that are almost nearly impossible. Forget the numbers of statistics and you hitting a creature for 3 points and I hit it for 4. I'm not even counting that, but I mean truly different situations and things. It's impossible for us to have the same experience. So if you were to try to replay it over and over and over and over and over again to see every possible, it would be hundreds and hundreds of hours, because by sheer design, by making one choice, cuts something else off. It's a very butterfly effect in that way, and so that kind of rippling pattern. And there are situations where if you happen to be in this place and you happen to have this one NPC with you, then you see this sequence. Otherwise, it wouldn't happen. Actually, one of my favorite sort of alternate scenes is in, this is only a minor spoiler, but you go to the Rail Nomad map, optional. You go into the bar, optional. You order the Snake Squeezins alcohol. You leave. You go back and complain about the quality of the alcohol, and then he says, well, actually, our hobos are holding up our supply wagon. Would you go solve it for us? And then you get to go to a map that you would have never seen otherwise. Then once you get to the map, there's 3 different ways to handle that, and one of the situations gets handled automatically if you have a particular NPC in your party. All that just from a simple ordering a drink at the bar. That's what we love. We love the detail.
9. 8. 7. 6.
Countdown! Stop the countdown! Titan chooses to be merciful. I will not allow this peaceful canyon to be destroyed by the stubbornness of a few childish cowboys. That is not the purpose of Titan's wrath.
As you say, when you play these games, you want to be able to knock down walls everywhere you go, and the world becomes, as you do things your way, that's how you get immersed, right? And the more often you reminded that you can't do something, you start to lose the immersion. So we need to bend over backwards to make every possible little nuance that you can do. That happens to include shooting everyone, which we have to have whole playthroughs where we'll tell our QA department, okay, play through the entire game, shoot everyone. And you have to make sure to capture all the holes, because you've got to be careful. You don't turn off some quest because there are certain few things you have to do, right, to move the story along or to get to Los Angeles. So we have to have some way to double check and back up those things, so there's another way to provide each one of those things. And so from a design perspective, sometimes the writers just want to pull their hair out. If somebody wants to play it their way and play not by the rules, so to speak, we try really hard to pay that off for people. And because we don't care how you want to play the game. Like somebody said once, well, what if, how do you keep all the information off the internet and off of Google so they don't find it all and cheat? what do I care? I mean, if that's what they find enjoyable and they want to use that information to get through the game, make it easier, I don't really care. But in the same way, if they're going to, like in that case, shoot everyone, well, guess what? The Rangers who have made you, anointed you and made you cops, so to speak, they say, you know what? You're no longer a Desert Ranger. In fact, you're enemies now. And then the game completely takes a left turn, and now you become enemies with the Rangers, and then it's a kill or be killed. And that whole scenario you can play out to its ultimate conclusion. It's possible to actually beat the Rangers, sit up on top, destroy Ranger Citadel, and the credits will roll. You'll get an epilogue of everything that was affected, and you sort of win the game as just a raging a-hole, right? So we're going to be releasing Wasteland 2. It's going to be available on PC, Mac, and Linux. And in the first half of September, we don't have the exact date yet. We're waiting for some physical goods, but we're right down to the wire. The code is filing, everything's there, so we're sort of imminently going to be releasing.